outside agencies that you've already heard, the Public Utilities Commission is gonna be a big one. This rail corridor is used by BNSF, Amtrak, Metrolink. SCRA is Southern California Rail Authority. They're gonna be taking a look at this. They do all the maintenance and ops. You know, there's a lot of things that you personally aren't gonna have to worry about, except for the fact that, it said, what are the below grade construction requirements? They're going to, they're gonna look over exactly what's gonna be done. They're pretty much gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Now, when we started to do the coastal trail, what they wanted to do, we were getting rid of an urbanized project and we wanted to do a much more natural project. All the rail agencies said, we not only will we not give you any more at-grade crossings, we will not license any or support the licensing of any of them. We're going to shut down the ones that you have. And their vision was, you know, corridor fencing on either side with all grade separated below, and they don't care what it costs. They couldn't care less what it costs you, because as long as you don't cross their tracks. Now I have to tell you, we got licensing for 6 new crossings. Okay, this is after years of them telling us, go away, we're gonna shut you down. So it can be done. In terms of, somebody asked here, is there, will at-grade solutions only be considered with crossbucks? They have design standards and they will hold you to them, and that's how it's gonna be, all right? There's gonna be barriers that are gonna need to be added, like we saw. The fencing that you saw, what we did is we came up with 3 design solutions. We made sure that they were approved by those agencies, and then we took them to the community. We did an on-site thing, you know, a construction of sections of those, and we had the community vote, and the ones you saw is what got voted on. But we had it approved first, you know what I mean, those concepts through those agencies.
Oh, the one that we just saw.
Yeah, the one you just saw. So visually, it's really not obstructive at all. It's you know, we wanted
That
to,
included the fence too, right?
that fencing, yes. Not the crossing, no, the crossing, there's set standards,
Yeah, I
design
know that, yeah.
standards for exactly, you know, line of sight issues, you know, the bells and whistles. The other thing is that right now, within a quarter of a mile of any crossing, it's called a whistle stop going either way. They have to sound their horn 3 times to let anybody know in that area that a train is coming. What San Clemente is trying to do, because of those new 6 crossings plus all the ones we had before, it's horrendous, the noise that is brought to San Clemente. So what we're working on now is a quiet zone, all right, and we're on the way there, and we're kind of coming down the home stretch on that, but we partnered with Oceanside. That means every single crossing, at-grade crossing, within Oceanside through it to San Clemente has to be standardized. It has to be exactly the same. So if you guys think you're gonna tweak this, and your project is really special, you know, and they're just gonna love what you have, get that out of your brain right now, okay? Because it's going to have to be consistent with what is there now. So take a good look, take some pictures, and just understand that, yeah, it's not the design aesthetic that you're going for. It doesn't matter if that's how it's gonna be. I'm telling you, I can't state it too strongly. So, in terms of any other options, like no crossbucks, how about no whistles, how about, you know, no, it's not gonna happen.
And that's just at-grade crossings.
At-grade, right now, an at-grade's running around 600,000. A below grade, depending on the conditions, is running $1.75 million to $2.5 million. That is not to elevate the tracks in any way, okay? And that's some little stairs down and some stairs back up. I will tell you that in all the studies that we've done, it's line of sight. People wanna go, they wanna see where they're going, okay? People do not wanna go underneath and they do not wanna go above. So we, you know, even where we do have below grade, we still have people that cross at grade illegally.
So the reason why, I guess, of the 3 options, the reason why an overpass or underpass aren't preferable is because people really don't use them. They don't like them.
As much. there's a kind of an urban element to them, you know, by the nature of how they have to be constructed. And then, people just don't wanna use them, there's safety issues, you know, nighttime, people coming back underneath the tunnel, you know, it's like they'd rather just like dart across the tracks.
So instead of fighting them, like to force them to go under, over,
Right.
we're just saying, let's do it at grade and,
The
and just make it safer.
Right, the only place that we didn't do that is at Mariposa Point, and after today's over, I'm more than happy to either you can get in my van, we'll go back over and look at the newest underpass, or you can follow me and we can caravan, is because the topo there is like straight up and down in the line of, it's on a curve in the line of sight. There was no way to get an at grade. I mean, if you had an at grade, it dropped off into air. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's,
Yeah, it just went straight down, so they did put.
so
an
that was the
underpass
only
there.
viable option.
That was the only viable option, and it's
Yeah.
flooded, I don't know, about a quarter of the time.
Oh, really?
Because of
From the
tides.
ocean coming in?
Yes.
Oh.
The tracks weren't raised there, were they?
No, And then the other thing that you have that Steve talked about is there are utilities running all over the place along the ocean. There's sewage, there's fiber optics, there's a lot of utilities in there that all have to be dealt with, all those companies, and those all have to be rerouted. It's
So,
huge.
in light of that, do you guys feel that it makes sense for each of the 5 design teams to invest their limited resources financially and team to propose a below-grade solution? I mean, I understand that that's something that we should have on the table, but I just wonder if all 5 of the teams should be producing that, or perhaps one person could draw up kind of a standard solution just to get cost numbers and that kind of thing, because I just wonder, you know, we
That's a
could,
good idea, and you can even use what we have. You can use our specs that we have
Yeah.
and have it costed out.
because I just wonder, I mean, just to try and save some energy so that we can put on the.
Yeah, if in the end, as you say, it's going to be what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It is,
point
but
for us to
they'll
all
wanna
design
look
it.
at,
Yeah.
they'll wanna see that you've looked and investigated all options.
Yeah, if you go through the CEQA, NEPA gauntlet, you
You
will
have
have
to look
to
at-
analyze. all the
Including a
options.
no-build option, I mean, everything's on the
Right,
table,
right.
including not doing it at all.
That's a whole nother level.
Well,
Right.
well, I'm wondering if you are gonna have to go through it in the EIR and CEQA and whatnot, since what I'm gathering from the discussion so far here on the side is that the underpass is not really something that any of you folks want. So I'm even wondering, is it worth the time and effort of the design teams to even, show something like that? I mean, if the at-grade crossing is what you really want, and that's what you want to sell to the public and to whatever, shouldn't we concentrate our efforts on that instead?
Yeah, I would think that most of your, getting most of your bang for your buck would be there. Even though the rail will say, that's not what we want, it's still a balancing act between safety. I mean, will this project be more safe with a licensed at-grade crossing than without? Absolutely. I mean, that's how we got them in the end. That are you gonna vote for something that is not vote for this, you're gonna deny this, and we can show that it will be more safe than it is now.
I think an at-grade is also apparently the least environmentally impacting.
Yes,
alternative.
it is.
Water tables, you got all kinds of stuff going
That
on.
state parks has got to, because of our charge, you gotta say, hey, it's a natural preserve, it's deemed a special area within a special park, and we've got certain
It's also
sign on
less
the
maintenance too.
Right, and then the
so-
overpass, same thing. I mean, you've got some visual problems with, obstructing view corridors and all that, so and that's just too urban of an element to go in there. We have one overpass, it happens to be on the street where I live, at Crystal Ball, and, there's people that wish that it never happened and could we tear it down, and, but it's there now. But I will tell you in San Clemente, there will never be another one.